Guys, so we are moving on to chapter 7, okay? Constructions and scale drawings. Now, this is going to use a little bit about what you know about angles, and we're going to go and start with that first, okay? So, when we're looking at scale drawings, like I said, you need to know a little bit about your angles. So when we're talking about angles, you want to make sure that you know that there are 3 parts to every angle, okay? We have the legs and then we have the vertex. Both legs are joined together at a certain point, which is called our vertex. The other thing that you need to remember about your angles is that we can classify them. Okay, and by classifying them, we're talking about noting how big they are or small they are. Okay, so the first way that we can classify an angle is by saying that it is acute. Now, does anybody remember what acute means? What kind of angle would be acute? Well, if you were thinking of any angle that it measures less than 90 degrees, you are correct. Okay, so acute menos de 90 grados. The next name that we could classify or we could use to classify these angles is called a right angle. Now, all of you should know what a right angle is. Okay, if not, here's a picture of a right angle. And what's special about this one? If you are thinking that it measures exactly 90 degrees, you are correct. Okay, your right angle measures exactly 90 degrees. And we have that little square that shows us right there that it's 90 degrees. Okay. The next way that we can classify an angle is by saying that it is obtuse. Now, what do you think obtuse means? Obtuse. Okay, there's a picture of it right there. Any angle that is greater than 90 degrees, okay, más grande que 90 grados, but less than 180, menos que ese 180, we say that it is obtuse, okay? So we have acute, which is little, small, less than 90 degrees, right, which is exactly 90 degrees, and obtuse, which is bigger. The last way that we can classify an angle is by saying that it is straight. Now, your straight angle looks like this. And your straight angle measures exactly 180 degrees. Okay? Now, this is stuff that you should have learned in 6th grade to kind of help you now when we start to make these angles. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is if angles are adjacent or vertical, okay? And now this is important because we do see this again come 8th grade, okay? In 8th grade, we're going to look at this again. So now let's take a look. 2 angles, dos ángulos, are adjacent when they share a common side and they have the same vertex. So if you think about what we just saw, the vertex is that point in the middle of your 2 legs, okay, of your angle. Now, adjacent. If something is adjacent, then we are saying it is next to, okay, al lado de. That's what adjacent means. So if we look here at this first example, they're telling us that angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent, okay? So son dos ángulos que están al lado de uno. Now, if you see, here I'm highlighting angle 1, okay? I'm going to pick a different color and I'm going to highlight angle 2. Usted va a notar que los dos ángulos comparten un lado, okay? Comparten un lado. They share that one side. Now, and the center of those 2 angles, they also share. They have the same point. If you look, they're going to tell you that angle 2 and angle 4 are not adjacent. Okay, si usted ve ángulo 4 y 2, eso no son adjacent, okay? No están al lado, sino están enfrente de uno, okay? They're kind of like looking at each other, se están mirando. So let's look at that. Those types of angles are called vertical angles, okay? They are opposite angles. And they form congruent angles, meaning they have the same measurement, okay? Vertical angles están en lados opuestos, o si se están mirando y tienen el mismo grado, okay? Entonces, ángulo 1 y 3 son vertical. También me están mostrando que ángulo 4 y 2 también son vertical, ¿ok? Usted va a notar que ellos están enfrente de uno, ¿ok? Se están mirando. If they are vertical, then also know that they have the same degrees, ¿ok? So, digamos que ángulo 1 mide 130. Entonces, enfrente, ángulo 3 también va a medir 130, ¿ok? Digamos que ángulo 4 mide 50. So, angle 2 también va a ser 50, ¿ok? Porque ellos están enfrente de un vertical angles. All right, so let's use this idea and let's look at some of the examples. Okay, so in example number 1, it says naming angles. A is going to say name a pair of adjacent angles. Now, acuérdase, adjacent significa al lado de, okay? So next to. Looking at this picture, hay harto ángulos que usted puede nombrar que están al lado de uno, okay? But let's just see what, give at least 2 examples that we could use. So if you're looking at this, su ángulo lo tiene que usar 3 letras, okay? You're going to use 3 letters to name your angles. So I'm going to highlight this first one, angle ABF, okay? And you're going to notice, ahí estoy incluyendo ese símbolo que se significa ángulo, this one right here, okay? ABF. Then, I just put the letters in order. The second angle, al lado de ese, FBE. Okay, ustedes pueden ver que ellos comparten esta línea. So, adjacent al lado de, tiene que compartir una línea y tiene que tener el mismo vertex. So, FBE. Now, if you notice, si anotan, los dos tienen B en el grupo when I name them, okay? Eso es porque los dos tienen B como un vertex. So those two would be adjacent. Now, you can give me any other pair of adjacent angles. Mientras que comparten un lado y el mismo vertex, they are adjacent. So for example, here, I highlighted CBD. Now next to CBD is DBE. Okay? Los dos comparten este lado. Aquí hay un ángulo y en el otro lado está otro. Okay? Comparten el mismo vertex, la letra B. And you'll notice it's in the middle. Okay? Part B says name a pair of vertical angles. Okay, so let's think about vertical angles. Vertical angles, we were on opposite sides, okay, lados opuestos en la imagen. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and pick an angle. Now, de nuevo, su ángulo, cuando usted pone el ángulo en el papel, you're going to name it using 3 letters. The vertex is always in the middle, okay? So here, I chose angle again, ABF. The vertex B in the middle. Now, directly on the opposite side, in front of that, would be CBD. Okay, and you can see that I drew arrows here pointing, the 2 pointing directly in front of each other. You'll notice they're pointing towards the same vertex, vertex B. So angle ABF and angle CBD are vertical. They are directly in front of each other. And again, the vertex B is shared in both sets of letters. Okay, let's look at something that would not be considered vertical. So if I highlight angle ABF again, you notice I'm going to now highlight DBE. Now, it does have the same vertex, but they're not directly in front of each other. Okay, so you have to be careful with that. It has to be directly in front. Okay, so here are two examples that if you want, you could screenshot, you could take a picture of that and complete on your own, and then you could send me the answers and I can check for you. Okay, so moving on to example number 2, adjacent and vertical angles. So now you have to look at them and tell me if it's adjacent or vertical, and then find the value of x. So in the first one, I'm going to note that 70 and x, they're kind of looking right at each other. Okay, se están mirando. 70 is on one side y x está en el otro lado. So would these be vertical or adjacent? If you were thinking vertical, you're correct. Okay? Now, vertical angles are congruent. They have the same value. So x then has to also be 70 degrees. If you look, I'm going to highlight the two angles that they are looking at. So you have that smaller one there and then the one right next to it. So would this be adjacent or vertical? If you were thinking adjacent, you are correct. Okay, that's an example of two angles next to each other. Now to find the value of x, that's going to be a little different. Okay, if you notice this little box right here that I now highlighted, what does that mean? 90 degrees. Very good. Okay, so that's showing me that both of those angles, if I put them together, I'm going to have 90 degrees. So I'm going to write an equation, okay, una ecuación. 31 más x más 4. Okay, I'm going to put them together. All that together gives me 90 degrees. Now I'm going to go ahead and solve for my variable. First thing I'm going to look at is, ¿qué puedo poner junto? What can I put together? If you were thinking 31 plus 4, you are correct. 31 plus 4 is 35 plus x. Minus 35 minus 35, 55. Right? And that is your final answer. So you can see we are using a little bit of what we learned before to help us here. All right, here are the on your owns that again are in your textbook, or you can take a screenshot of this and complete them, and we'll see how you do. Okay, so now constructing angles. This one's kind of tricky only because we're not in class together and we don't have the protractors. But in Big Ideas, if you're able to get online, Big Ideas tiene la capacidad para darte un protractor, okay? If you're not sure what that is, Google it. So you can draw your angles. So here, it's asking you to draw a pair of vertical angles that measure 40 degrees. So that means 40 degrees on one side, 40 degrees on the opposite side. So here I'm just going to sketch it. Voy a decir que este ángulo es 40. It's not done perfectly because I don't have a protractor. But if I did, I would use it and I would measure 40 degrees. Now, tengo que dibujar un ángulo, el ángulo opuesto, el vertical angle, que también mide 40 grados. Now, the good thing is que vertical angle, si lo dibujo bien, automatically te va a salir 40 grados because vertical angles son congruent, que se significa igual, okay? Van a tener la misma medida. So, to sketch this, okay? Porque no está perfecto. Dibujé el 40 grados. Now, I'm going to extend this line, right? Voy a continuar esa línea y también voy a continuar la línea del otro lado, right here. And you're going to see that it's going to form now, ahí está, el otro ángulo, el vertical angle to this. And we know that that's also going to be 40 degrees. Okay? Entonces es una manera que usted lo puede dibujar right now sin totalmente tener la medida perfecto. Okay? So that's a really short and quick explanation of 7.1. So following this now, you're going to go try the on your own. I also have an exit ticket and the big ideas practice. Okay? Now you're also going to notice that later I will post up time where you can meet with me on Google Hangout or Zoom. I'll give you the details and we could talk more about this together in person. All right, guys, have a great day.